Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 261. Happy West Coast Wednesdays. The album that I'll be reviewing this evening is NWA and the Posse, released in 1987. Um, I have here the reissue, which came out in 1989. So that's the one I have. All right. I did a review on both NWA albums, Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life. Definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. It's on my channel. I did all the MC Ren's albums. I did a review on those albums. The only ones I didn't do was Reincarnation, which came out in 2009, but that was like more of a digital release, and I don't think he ever put out like physical copies of the album. Um, I did a review on all of EAZY albums, like Easy Does It, the 5150 Home of the Sick EP, the It's On 187 EP from '93, and I did the Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucker Copy, which is my favorite album from Easy E. To me, it's his best album, in my opinion. But I know some people prefer It's On. I'm not mad at that because it's both good albums. I did a good chunk of Ice Cube's albums. I did pretty much the first six albums: the America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, Predator, um, Lethal Injection, which I think is slept on. People hate on that album for some reason. War and Peace Volume 1, which is also slept on. Volume 2 was okay. I wasn't really too fond of that album. I did a review on those albums, and and I just gotta get I gotta get Laugh Now Cry Later. I gotta get Raw Footage and Everything's Corrupt that came out a couple years back. I do have the I Am the West that came out 2010. So when I get those albums, I definitely have to get those get a copy of those albums. But I know those albums have gone up in price, especially like Raw Footage and Everything now. Laugh Now Cry Later was kind of weird because I don't know. It's probably that whole priority record shit. Because I know any release from Priority Records have is out of print and it goes for a lot of money. Which I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right. So, and then I have to do the DJ Yella One More Night to Go that came out in '96. I do have that album, but it's in one of my containers, and you know how it is. Like you got containers upon containers. I just gotta dig through it, and it's just like a pain in the ass to do. And I would love to get my hands on like a what's it called, a bookshelf, something like this. Yeah, probably like two of those, two more of those, so I can at least put the. Sorry about that. So I can at least put all the CDs in there and stuff like that. Yes. So let's get into the album. Um, so this album has two singles. The singles are um, "Boys in the Hood" and "Panic Zone." "Boys in the Hood," you guys know, that's an easy solo track, which ended up being on his solo debut album, "Easy Does It," classic. And then you got "Panic Zone" by Arabian Prince. Arabian Prince, a lot of people don't really talk about him because of his style of hip hop. Yeah, his style is like more the traditional LA '80s hip hop, which is kind of like electro hop. It's kind of like in the realms of like kind of like a Planet Rock, like African Bambaataa. It's like shit like that, Mantronics, like that kind of style. Like that's the kind of style that he does. And it isn't a acquired taste. It's not really for me. I appreciate it for what it is. It's not for me. But all I do know, he dropped an album back in '93. It was like more like kind of like a more traditional G Funk hip hop, which I would love to get my hands on. It's kind of hard to find, so a little rare. But I'll definitely try to get my hands on that album. All right. So like I said, this album came out in '87, but it was also re-released in 1989, and this is the version I have. This is the 1989 reissue. Um, real quick, the real reason, no, I'm sorry. The difference with this one is pretty much track four. In the '87 version, there's a song called "Scream," which was done by rapper signer Microphone Mike. Microphone Mike ended up becoming Micah 9. You guys might know that name, but be familiar with the likes of Freestyle Fellowship and Project Blowed. He ended up becoming that, but before that, he was actually, part of the whole, McCullough Records ordeal and things like that. So he was all part of that. All right. So they replaced that song on the '89 version, which is called "A Bitch Is a Bitch," which you guys know that's an Ice Cube solo track. Which you could kind of tell, listen to it, you could tell that it was recorded during the like the straight out of Compton sessions and things like that. So just had to throw it out there, and it definitely sounds like it was recorded around that time. All right, so this is what the album looks like. Yeah, you got like NWA, like some of the members of NWA, and then you got like the rappers that was part of McCullough Records. All right, and then then you got DJ Yellow was supposed to be in the he was supposed to be in the photo shoot, but he was sick at that time. MC Ren is part of it, but like again, he wasn't he wasn't officially part of NWA. I think up until like a year later or something like that. So based on what I read, but as you can see right here, it's pretty much everybody here. You know what I'm saying? All right. You know how I get down, show what the album looks like. As you can see, them just like this was like behind McCullough Records. Nothing too crazy. Dope pick right there. All right. That's what the CD looks like. Sorry. All right. Open it up. Okay. Track listing. Alright. Alright, so you know how I get down. I'm gonna go do some of the tracks. Alright. So let's get into the album. First track of the album, Boys in the Hood, is an EAZY solo track. Classic album, classic song. That song was featured on the Easy Does It album by Eazy-E that was released in '88. Classic. This is the first single of the album. This version is different from than the album version that was on Easy Does It. For one thing, the Easy Does It version is like 6.5 minutes long, whereas this version is about only 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes long. All right. To me, this version was a little bit more raw. It kind of had like a more demo-esque kind of feel to it. It had like a more raw feel, whereas the Easy Does It version had like a more polished version. It was like more studio friendly, studio ready. You know what I mean? It's like it sounded more mastered. More mixed. This one was, you could tell it was done by like a 2-track or 4-track, that kind of thing. It had like that real raw feel to it. You can hear like a slight reverb to his vocals and things of that nature. So just had to throw that out there. So definitely a dope vibe, different vibe of the album. Song, excuse me. But I do like the line when he said, the boy JD was a friend of mine till I caught him in my car trying to steal an Alpine. Chased him up the street and call a truce. The silly clock head posted a deuce. Little did he know I had a loaded 12 gauge, one sucker dead LA Times front page. Classic. I love that. That's fucking dope. You guys know Ice Cube wrote that for him, but Eazy-E, man, just the overall Eazy-E, himself, like he's just so fucking dope. I miss that dude. All right, then we got track 2, 8 Ball, NWA. It's more of an Eazy-E solo track, honestly. Dope track. In this song he talks about his love for Old English, or OE, 40 ounce, but in LA they call it the 8 Ball. You know what I'm saying? So because of the Old English 800, so but they call it the 8 Ball, so that's what it is. And it just talks about his everyday life in Compton, what he goes through and shit like that. It's kind of a story. I like the line when he said, put in the old tape, Marvin Gaye's greatest hits, turn the sharp, had the bass cold whomping, cruising through the east side south of Compton, see a big ass and I say word, I took a look at her face and the bitch was to the curb. But she was on my tip for the title. I'm holding Eazy-E, getting busy, got the 8 Ball rolling. I fucking love that fucking shit. So pretty much he's talking about how, he got the Marvin Gaye, rest in peace to him, the greatest hits on cassette or 8-track, where the case may be. I would say cassette. Let's just just keep it modern. Um, and then he's blasting that shit through the hood, and then he sees the shorty, fat ass, she got dunk, you know what I mean? But then see her face, she's a butter face, kick that bitch to the curb, like, nah, I'm good. So, but she was on his dick because she had the OE, he did it what he had to do. So, but yeah, just had to throw that out there. But I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that song was also featured on Straight Outta Compton, but it was the remix, but it's pretty much the same song. Um, but again, this one is a little bit more raw. Like I said, name is Sugar Water. All right. Track 3, Dunk the Funk. Featuring the FILA Fresh Crew, featuring the DOC. The FILA Fresh Crew, it was DOC's old group. You had I think let me see. You had who was the it was I think it was DOC. I forgot the other dude's name. I think it was let me see. It was Fresh K, Dr. Rock, and DOC, but he was known as Doc T at that time, and they were originally from Dallas, Texas, excuse me. But Dunk the Funk, pretty dope track, but it's honestly a DOC solo track. Um, Dope shit. DOC's always been kind of like a lyricist type of guy. Dope shit. I like that line by DOC when he says, "Stupid dope rhyme, stand up like a knife." Cold #1 player of the game called life. I love that. Another line where he says, "Overcoming adversity, being patient and calm, messing around with the dogs like detonating a bomb." Ooh, fire. Love that shit. That shit was dope. So that was track 3. That was track 3, Dunk the Funk. Track 4, A Bitch Is a Bitch, NWA. That's actually an Ice Cube solo track. This song eventually ended up becoming a bonus track on the 2002 reissue of Straight Outta Compton. Just had to throw it out there because, like I said before, like when you hear it, it sounds like a song that was recorded during the sessions of that album. Just never made the album, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, in this song, you pretty much talk about you know, all these bitches, trifling bitches. Not saying all women are bitches, but these chicks that's manipulators, manipulate men for personal gain and that kind of thing. That be tripping, that be acting stuck up and things like that. Or like you got these chicks like on social media, posting, posting fucking a list of restaurants that men shouldn't take them on dates and kind of bullshit like that. Like, get the fuck out of my dick. You know what I'm saying? You're getting a free meal, so why are you crying? You know what I mean? But that's just me. But I like the line when he said, "I once knew a bitch who got slapped because she played me like she was all that." Oh God. A bitch can be your best friend talking behind your back about who's fucking who's getting fat. That's so fucking true, man. These chicks, man, these bitches, man. Trifling bitches, man, for real, man. These hoes ain't loyal. It's fucking true. So, yeah, track 4, A Bitch Is a Bitch, fucking dope Ice Cube solo track. Yeah, something like that couldn't be made today, because, yeah, they would get crucified on that. So we're gonna go to that. Track 5, Drink It Up. That was done by the FILA Fresh Crew featuring DOC. I'm just gonna call it the DOC because DOC does the rapping pretty much. But this song fucking sucks. I did not like this song. I don't know why they put it on this album. It's pretty much a song, old, to alcohol, them mixing different type of drinks with the alcohol they drinking and that kind of like that. But here's a twist. The song, they do kind of like a rendition of the Beatles' Twist and Shout. Twist and shout, twist and shout. Oh, no, shake it, baby, shake it. I fucking hate that song. So you can imagine that on a hip hop form, and they pretty much singing that melody throughout the whole song, but with their own lyrics, and it's just like no, instant turn off for me. I'm like, no, absolutely not. That shit was trash. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking putting that on, but yeah. So that's what Drink It Up is. I did not like. Definitely one of the weaker tracks off the album. All right. Then you got track 6, Panty Zone. That's an Arabian solo track, Arabian Prince solo track. Again, it's pretty much kind of like electro hip hop, electro hop. Thing, something like Planet Rock, Mantronics, or like better yet, it's similar to something to dance to, which was the last track off of Straight Outta Compton. It's pretty much similar to that. I didn't really care for it. Again, didn't really do much for me. I get it because like that was the style for hip hop in LA at that time, but it just didn't do anything for me. So, all right, son, we got track 7. LA is the place featuring EAZY and Rendezvous. Oh God, yo, this song is. I get what they were trying to do, it just did not work in Eazy-E's favor. So pretty much it's a song, them dedicating, the song to, just representing LA, Compton, and all that stuff. But Easy E is trying to rap like Run DMC. Like they trying to like the shouting rapping and stuff like that. Easy is doing that, and it just did not work for Easy. Like Easy don't ever like you should never do it. Well, I'm glad he never did that, but never he stuck with that. Definitely not one of my favorite tracks, but I just oh god. I could have done without that song. I get it, you know what I mean? I think, if he rapped regular like he usually does, I think it would have fared better. But the fact that he tried to rap over, like, he tried to rap like Run DMC, saying the Rendezvous, it was like, nah, homie, it wasn't that good. He's like, yo, and then he took a little shot at in New York. It's like, I know, this is New York, this ain't New York, this is LA. We fuck with the subway, but it's in, some crazy shit like that. But yeah, I just wasn't too fond of that song. I could have done without that. So that's track 7. Track 8, Dope Man by NWA. That's an Ice Cube solo track, which was actually featured on, Straight Outta Compton. It was the remix, which was practically the same song. The only difference with this one is that this one, it starts off with a Custy going to the trap house or the crack house, trying to cop dope off NWA, that kind of thing. It's like a little, little mishaps, like, yo, where's the money, that kind of thing, a drug deal going bad, that kind of thing. And in the song, he talks about the perspective from a drug dealer to, Custy or a drug addict, you know what I mean? So that's how the, and I thought it was pretty cool, what I'm saying, pretty dope, very ahead of his time. I like the line by Cube when he said, "Young brother getting over by slinging cane, gold around his neck and 14K heroin, bitches jogging his dick 24/7. Please making money, keep them bass heads waiting. Rolling 6'4" with the fresh ass Dayton's. Love that, fucking dope." So that was track 8, Dope Man by NWA, fucking dope shit. Track 9, Toughest Man Alive, featuring DOC and the FILA Fresh crew. So that song and that title, they actually dropped an album called the same title of the song, Toughest Man Alive, back in 2014. I don't know if it was like an official release, so I don't know if it was like a bootleg or whatever, but it was like CDR, according to Discogs, and I know that shit goes for a lot of money. It's like long out of print, it's hard to find. But yeah, this song, I like it a lot. It's a dope track, braggadocious track, really really dope song. I like the line by DOC when he says you step to wrong, boy, so I can I say go off a quick run, and when I'm done with you bet not cough, I'm an annihilator, standing a full 6'3", and I really don't think you want to fuck with me. But then there's always those that's always clocking all your shows, getting out of the lines, trying to press their hoes. I know some niggas like they round the way who won't quit. It's old top man, shoot the motherfucking shit. Yeah, that's fucking dope, and that's that's you always got that one dude that that try to act tough in front of in front of his girl and trying to be tough guy in front of the girls, trying to impress the girls and that kind of thing. You gotta let them know. You gotta show them the business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got from that. So that was track 9, Toughest Man Alive. All right. Track 10, Fat Girl, featuring EAZY and Rendezvous. Um, it just talks about EAZY's talking about fat girls trying to pursue them and love them, because at that time in the 80s, like how it is now, like BBWs were like looked down upon and stuff like that in the 80s and 90s. It wasn't until like the 2000s, like I would say late 90s 2000s is like when people start embracing BBWs. I don't want to say fat girls. Fat girls is not like, I would say BBWs. Let's keep it BBWs. Thick BBWs, the SBBWs for all my peoples out there, But back then, they just flat out say fat girls, because nowadays everything's so PC. So to keep it PC, let's just call them BBWs, okay? So that's what they talk about. So it's a funny track. I like the line when he said, "Stampede was Russian. I double looked. She had more chin than the Chinese phone book." That's too funny. Another line I like when he says, "She gave me the grin. I showed the frown with a bear hug, picked me off the ground, squeezing me tight, attempted to bug me, grabbed me by the rear, and said, 'Love me, hug me.' I was hell, victim of a scandal, cause the girl's too much for me for E to handle." That's too funny, man. That was cool. You know what I mean? So that's track 10, Fat Girl. And last track, dope way to end the album, 3 the Hard Way, featuring FILA Fresh Crew and the DOC. Alright? Dope track, like I said. It's a dope track because in this song it's like the 3 verses is 3 different stories. So the first verse, he talks about a dude that has bad breath. The second verse, it talks about a girl named Tammy, she's a hoe. And the third verse is about a girl named Sue who smells bad. So that's what he talks about. So I like the line. It's pertaining to the first verse. This is what I'm about to read, where he says, "That boy is rough, this sort of tough. I don't understand. Tested breath inside his palm and burned his hand. He's a tuck destroyer, a listener killer, a cavity employed, a yuck mouth killer." Oh man, that's too funny, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. My overall thoughts of this album, it's an okay album. Is it the best in the world? No. But I feel like it's good to have, because I kind of know like the beginnings of NWA and that kind of thing, or where it came from, that kind of thing. Now here's the controversial question: Do people? So the question is this considered to be their first album? Absolutely not. It's not. Here's why. At the time, NWA was, and FILA Fresh Crew, Rendezvous, Microphone Mike, and Rapid Sign, they were signed under McCullough Records. At the time, McCullough Records was the distributor for all LA artists, hip hop artists, in LA for hip hop, right? McCullough Records was a one stop shop type of ordeal. So let's say like if I'm a upcoming rapper, and then I freestyle, or I give him a demo to the record label owner of McCullough Records, and he like what he heard from me, he's gonna sign you off for that. So that's how that go about. So that's what it was. So pretty much the songs that NWA did and stuff like that, those were demos, and they gave it to McCullough Records, and so, like I said, at the time they were under McCullough Records, but they weren't really making any money, and they were getting pissed off, like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Seeing 1 red cent. So, they got introduced to EAZY, got introduced to Jerry Heller. Jerry Heller bought out NWA. They ended up leaving NWA, and they started Ruthless Records, and then they ended up dropping Straight Outta Compton, Straight Outta Compton. But because of that, the owner of McCullough Records was spiteful, and ended up releasing this album out of spite. It's more of a cash in to make money, and that's why it was called NWA and a Posse. So this is like pretty much like this was like more of a you know, more like a cash in, like a, you know, unofficial release. You know what I mean? But then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry Heller actually bought the rights to this compilation album, which is why he had the priority Ruthless Records, and he ended up making money off of that. So, I think Easy made some money off of that as well. So, it was a pretty much a win-win situation. So that's why I feel like this is not their first album, because again, because of what I just said, I posted this is an article for this album about McCullough Records, and pretty much what I said. It's a pretty good read, you know what I mean. But I just had to throw it out there. Um, this album is out of print, kind of hard to find, but if you can find it, you can definitely pick it up. It has gone up in price over the years. I got this luckily at Discogs. I think I got it for like $17. It was like 11 plus shipping and handling. Came to like $17. So I am mad at that because this album usually goes for like $30 and up, and you know, stuff like that. So I ain't trying to pay that. But yeah, NWA and the Posse, released in 1987. This is the OG press was released in '87. This is the reissue, the 1989 reissue. If you can find it, definitely pick it up. Just to add on to the NWA legacy, definitely pick it up. Definitely worth a listen. Just kind of know how they started off and things like that. Especially hearing like Boys in the Hood, how it was like the demo version of it. Same thing with 8 Ball and things like that. Dope Man and things of that nature. So, but yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. All right, peace.